that. Still getting trying to get used to the whole studio vibe life, getting in here, turning on the lights, throwing out trash, just daily stuff instead of like going to the gym, and just training. It's been different. It's been different, and yes, I know I've gotten softer. I'm drinking Starbucks instead of Keefy coffee from prison. you know, this is my thought. I believe that you're supposed to get softer after you get out of prison and you leave that life behind. You're supposed to actually get softer because as you get softer, you go from not being in survival mode no more. So you become, and I guess I'm gonna use the words and terms that is how I think. I don't want to offend nobody. You become educated because now you're not in survival no more. You're not looking for like that exit. You're not. No, you're like sitting down, reading the book, learning from it. So you're educating yourself. So now you're in a more of a learning curve. So you learn to live life. I just went to Starbucks right now, and there's this gentleman that sits there, and let me tell you, I met him in 2015, right? He sits on the same table to this day, on the same table with the newspaper, with his planner. Very successful guy, and I just bumped into him right now. And I was telling him, man, I probably never told you this, but you made an impact in my life because just watching you do the same thing over the years, me going to prison, coming out, and still seeing him doing that, really just put it in my head that I could do it. You know, and it's where like it's what I practice and preach now, the whole discipline thing, like being on schedule even when you're not on schedule, even doing things that you don't want to do when when you don't, and doing the things that you do want to do it when it's like crunch time. There's different flows to the game, man. Sometimes you're tired, sometimes you're not. um Me changing my whole schedule now to getting up not at the crack of dawn no more. I get up a little bit earlier, but not too. I don't do 2:45 no more. I'm gonna keep it real. Like that was the gym. That was all that. Do I toss and turn? Yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning. My goal now is to get up at 4, read and study a little bit. The word, and just pray and just being grateful, man, for the life that I have now. Um, I know where I was, 10, 20 years ago, even just 5 years ago. I know where I was mentally, spiritually, physically, just everything. Um, just because I'm not in the gym, like lifting 300 pounds, doing this doesn't mean that I'm not strong. Like I lived that chapter in my life. It's more about getting older now. I'm gonna be 50 soon. So I've learned that life is a lot to do with discipline, even learning to live life in a peaceful manner. And now that I have a new schedule, I come in straight to the studio, turn on the lights, do a social media post about what we're doing, and how we're helping people brand themselves, and record media, and do that stuff. But this is also therapy for me. So like I get to share what I did in my life so you guys don't do it. So someone out there that needs to listen to this, here's it. Um but getting here and being at a more slow paced life, more, I'm not saying it's less stressful because it's actually a little bit more stressful because I was making way more money at the gym. Now it's full throttle towards like my missionary work at the prisons, with the kids, the camps, the public speaking, like sharing my story and teaching people the lessons that I learned throughout my life. It, it's it's scary. It's scary to start a new career, a new chapter in your life, a new something that you really never imagined yourself doing. So like that makes it even more scarier. I've been training and I've been lifting weights since I was 9 years old. It was one of the biggest lessons that my dad taught me, and one of the few. Uh, we used to go to the YMCA all the time. He always worked out. There was always supplements in my house. I always tell people I was gifted with the knowledge of knowing supplements at a very young age. Like I tasted all that protein powder from way back in the day that tasted like straight chalk, just bad. And the fish oil tablets were like humongous back then. They were like, but me being back in that time and him teaching me, all that stuff. Also, I've been able to see the change in supplements, the just everything, how the supplement world changed. At one time I did have a supplement company too. I've done so much because I'm a dreamer. I'm a dreamer and I jump in head first. So coming into the studio now, the new schedule is getting up, studying the Bible, reading, praying, getting to the studio, putting whatever fires need to get put out, trash, cleaning up, stuff like that. And then recording for my content 1 hour before anybody comes into the studio. I get on there, edit it, my stuff, do my post. Uh, there's gonna be a time that I'm gonna be able to bring somebody in and help me hire someone, but right now I can't because the main focus right now is the work that I'm doing in the prisons, the work that I'm doing at the rehab centers. A lot of the work that I'm doing on like my time, like I'm not getting paid for it. Volunteer work, really. Um, but I know that that's where God is opening up the doors, and I know that I have to do it. So I'm putting my head down and just getting to work. And like I said, I walked away from the gym, something that I had done my whole life. I came home from prison doing that. I came home to that gym. I came home that I had been there for years. So it was scary to walk away. It was scary to burn that boat and take over the island. Coming into the studio and really learning what it is to run a small legit business. So like I have a small organization. It's not a nonprofit organization that's helping me take small business classes, small business owner classes, and it's because like I think that you're never too old to learn, man. You're never. It's never too late to change. There's a lot of things that you could do, like to live like life. They say that the average American, the average person lives to be 70 to 75 years old. So that means that I'm gonna be 50 soon. So that means I have 25 years left. Um, 25 years is a long time. It's a long time to learn to live peacefully, to learn to just I guess you could say die in peace and be happy with what you did. Am I perfect? No, no. In 3 years that I started my walk, I've matured dramatically compared to what I was. I was pretty much a child, and I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat stuff. I was a child. I would throw tantrums when I wouldn't get my way. I would get angry when that people wouldn't react a certain way. Like I was a child, so I've grown a lot, but it's because I let Christ teach me and guide me and just I've learned from my mistakes too. Like now, um, I mean even my marriage was a roller coaster, and I've like to say that we're working things out. We're actually we're back together, and and it's been crazy, man, because like we've both been humbled by all the experiences that we went through because we split up numerous times. I want to say like 9 times. Um, we both cried. We both, we both were kind of lost without each other, and we came to the conclusion that we had to soften up in certain areas in our lives to be able to meet each other halfway, because that's the thing. And I don't think like a lot of my kids understand that right now. Like a lot of my kids, they're mad at me because I guess, I haven't no, I shouldn't say I guess. I haven't been a good father. I haven't. I have been learning as I go, pretty much, to be there present as a father, or try to. And it's hard sometimes when you're being told that you're like a piece of crap, and you're like this and that. Like it's hard. Like it's hard, guys. It's like being a punching bag, and I don't believe nobody should go through that. I don't think nobody deserves that. I believe is if the man is actually trying to be there for his kids, and then there's gonna be times a lot of these dudes get out of prison, and they can't afford to pay the child support. They're barely struggling. You know, let them be their present, like their present, so their kids can see their father. We don't see how important this is, and I'm starting to see that now that I'm getting older, because like I see my kids, man. I see my daughters, and I can't sit here and beat myself up no more about not being there. I can't. It's how sometimes people go into insanity, blaming themselves the whole life. And it's not about that, man. It's not about that. Change happens when you start to learn to do things different. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. And all you have to do is be transparent, be willing to say, hey, I need help with this. Like, obviously, if someone's done it, you want to ask that person for help. You know, if someone's been able to stay in the gym for years, and looks the part, then that person should be the person you should ask for help. And everybody has their, I guess you could say, their person. They Not every trainer's for every client, not every client's for every coach, not every coach. There's different factors. You want someone to teach you that has lived it, been there, and is doing it. And that's why, like, now, I get this a lot. Oh, you think you're better now because you're hanging around with all these people, and I'm like, no, it's that I need to hang around with different people to accomplish the goals and things that I have to do. And one of the biggest things that I have in my heart is building that ranch and that church out here. I give glory to God for everything that I'm doing, man. It's not me. I'm not trying to get famous. It's none of that stuff. Like, most of the work that I do, you can't even have cameras in there. You can't even take pictures. Like, I do a lot of work that's behind the scenes that you can't record. It's against policy. It's against a lot of things. Um, the, but I do share a lot of the work that I do. But most of the work is behind the scenes. Um, it's It's to give glory to God for where He rescued me, because if I get to enjoy that, then other people should too. Like, that's how I feel. Like, if it was given to me for free, and all I have to do is tell people about it being given to me for free, for that person to experience what I'm experiencing in different ways. It doesn't mean it's gonna be the same way as me, but just experience somewhat of what I'm experiencing, a small mustard seed, then it's like your responsibility to share that, because, like, man, there's so many people out there just sad, just broken, and it's because there's a lot of, like, there's a lot of hurt people out there, and hurt people hurt other people. And you know I was a bad guy. I was a bad guy for a long time. For a long time. I'm not proud of it. Did a lot of stupid stuff, a lot of gang stuff, a lot of sexual stuff, a lot of, like just sinful life, like on the street, sleeping around, never respected my body. Um drugs, like that whole thing, not even respecting my temple, like as like putting drugs in it, sleeping around, like everything, just completely destroying it. And now that I look at myself different, I feel different. It is true that you actually have to have a little bit of faith to believe in that Jesus died on the cross for you, and you can live a better life. And I think that's why I don't try to cram it down people's throat. I don't try to like I just love on them. Like I walk around and I'm goofy, I guess, like I am. Um so have I gotten softer? Yeah, I have. I've have gotten a lot softer from when I was in prison and all that stuff. I had to. I have a 6-year-old daughter that, she's my world, and she's she's taught me a lot. She's a little fighter. She had a lot of medical health issues, and she's taught me a lot. Just like my wife, just like even Bella's mom. What she went through with the baby and me, and just everything. I believe that everything is a lesson, man. Everything, even when you make mistakes and stuff like that, like it's all a lesson, and we're supposed to learn from it. But sometimes we believe our own lies so much that we want to blame it on everyone else, or we're just stuck in that whole, I guess you could say, poor me victim mentality. And I don't want to offend nobody. I really, truly don't. And I speak just from my experience, my life. That was me for a long time as a kid. Yes, I had qualities that have, made me surpass other stuff, hardworking, discipline, stuff like that. But I always used them for the wrong, stuff. And yeah, when I got jobs, I was always that's one thing I have to say, that when I got jobs, I always got promoted to being a boss. Like I always now that I look at my life as a kid, even just 16 years old, becoming a manager at the Marriott Conference Center, like I've always had like a leader quality. I've always walked the walk, talked the talk, and just done. If you teach me how to do something, I'll do it. I'm a very good soldier. I'm a very good soldier. Um, I'll get it done, especially if it's something that I need to do over and over again. I'll become very good at it. It's how I learned how to do all this social media, this recording, this editing, thumbnails, building brands. Like it's how I learned how to do all this, and it's what kept the lights on behind the scenes. You know, Social media, YouTube is what paid the bills during COVID. My podcasting, all those years, it's what paid the bills and got us, through stuff. At that time, we were recording "Married to a Savage" on our YouTube channel, and that's gonna be coming back. Actually, we start recording the first episodes this week, so please check it out, guys. Uh, you know, I'm blessed that God has allowed me to learn a lot of things that have created a way for me to be able to share not only what He's doing in my life, but to share that with other people, not only through my channel, my social media platforms, but also through the TV shows, Dead Files, America's Most Evil Gangster, National Geographic. It's it's been a trip, man, but I know it's all God. We're driving up north at the end of this month to go check out that property, those 4 acres, to see where we get electricity, water, light, all that stuff. Working on that, working with ASU with the Be the Man and the Strong Center. There's so much stuff that's happening behind the scenes. We're also working on a Wrong Strong reentry program. um with our own halfway house. Just there's a lot of stuff that's in the back of the scenes that I can't really talk about, I can't really share, but it's way bigger than me, it's way bigger than you, it's way bigger than you. It's way bigger than all of us because it's Jesus with a ski mask. You know, people's hearts are made of steel nowadays, and you have to come in through the back door and show them love without them knowing. It's almost like kicking the back door in, running in while they're doing dishes, and just hugging them like a bear hug, and not letting go until they give in. Like that's how tough it is right now. And I think because the the bad is out there so much that you see it, hear it, watch it on TV. Like it's all over the place that people are so desensitized to it. I think that's how you say that word. Like, and always remember, guys, that I'm not educated. I have very little education. If I say words the wrong way, I'm sorry. It's just the way that I've learned to express myself, and all the drugs that I did all my whole life probably didn't help. So yeah, I believe that we've become like it's become like a norm to watch people's heads get chopped off, to watch people get stabbed. It's become a norm, so people's hearts and minds and souls are covered with this, like almost like a metal shield, because they become so normalized to it that it's hard to love on people. But that's the greatest gift that God gives us, trying to love on people that don't want to be loved. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. It's easy to love the people that love us back. Yeah. And like I said, I'm not perfect. I fall short too. I get mad at people. I get mad at friends. At my kids. I'm not perfect. I'm just trying my hardest, and that's all you could do. You gotta just live that day and just try your hardest, and just know that. I mean, for instance, today I said, okay, man, I gotta get all this stuff done. I gotta get my clearance card for Arizona. I gotta get my insurance changed on my car. I gotta get all this stuff done. It's a lot of stuff right now. My list is like 40 things that I gotta get done. My website, this, that. And I'm like, okay, today, the main thing that needs to get done is I'm gonna get in the studio, I'm gonna record, I'm gonna edit, I'm gonna post, I'm gonna get back on track. Back on track because I fell off track. Yeah. And what I mean that I got off track is that, you know, back when COVID happened and all that stuff, I was recording. I had a recording schedule. Like I had a whole studio set up at home. We had a big house. We had a separate room where I had a green screen, everything. Like I tell people, this building the studio was not something that just like came to me like, oh, I'm gonna try and get rich. No, it's been years and years of thinking, just dreaming about it and trying to put it together. And when my partner Ken came into the picture, where he was retiring as a lawyer, and we're still gonna do criminal defense lawyers. So if you need one, contact me. My PO box will be in the video. If you need any assistance, contact us. All the mail can go to that PO box. I'll leave in the video. Anyways, he's like, let's do this together. I don't want to retire, blah, blah, blah. And we built it together. And this is, Soundscape, Biltmore Soundscape Studio. It came to life. And this just is, it's the hub to everything else that's happening. So that's why it's so important. Even the prison classes are going to be done in Studio B with the TVs, with the Zoom and all that stuff. Recordings with guests and Studio C, Studio D's like a media studios to do like how to do videos for YouTube, all that stuff. Green screen, Studio X. It's gonna be a bigger studio. I think to sit up to 6 people to do like almost like a morning or night show. Those are coming into like the people are starting to do those a lot right now. Podcasting, social media is something that's growing right now. So I wanted to provide that service, and I wanted to do it. Why? Because I love to do it. I love to record. I love to tell people how to. I like to help people how to tell their story. You can make someone cry, laugh, all kinds of teach them, and that's the beautiful thing about video, podcasting, all that stuff. So it's getting back on regular schedule. So me recording every day for my social media, my podcast, my YouTube channel, then recording twice a week for Married to a Savage YouTube channel podcast, recording for that to get that going. But getting back on routine, man. I'm not training people no more, so that's been a little weird to get motivated at the gym. I gotta give shout outs to my wife, man. She's been a straight soldier and just a gangster, just through this whole thing. And not only her, just the mother of my children, man. Just I know it hasn't been easy for none of y'all dealing with me, but from the bottom of my heart, like I'm in this to win it. I'm in this to change. I'm in this to just for my kids to say, man, my dad really messed up his life, but at the end, he really got it back together, and he helped other people. You know, and I want to say this about my family, the Almanzas. Um, they they gave it everything they could. My uncle Martin, my uncle Martin paid for my NFPT certification. Him and my dad paid for it, but my uncle paid for most of it, and he knows I love him. I speak to him on a regular basis, and my sisters were there. Um, my grandparents. I wasn't the favorite to a lot of my other uncles and aunts, but that's okay. I had my uncles that really loved me. My tío Juan, my tío Martin, my tío Pepe, my abuelito loved me. But I was so sick. I was so hurt. When you're that hurt, you don't really realize how many people actually love you, because there is actually people out there that really don't have nobody. Because even if one person cares about you, then man, you're winning. And you don't realize that when you're out there. When you're out there hurt, just bleeding over everybody. You don't realize that. And I realized today that there's a lot of people that care about me. A lot. Even my kids, when they're talking crap to me and they're like so hurt, they're doing that because they love me, because they wish they would have had me in their lives. And it hurts, but I take that hurt and I try to live every day to the fullest. Like today's Friday. I'm going up to the Aspen Yard. They're getting ready to graduate from the USP Max course. We're gonna plan the pizza party and the graduation certificates, all that stuff. And also, guys, if you guys want to help with these programs, we teach at the juvenile prison, we teach at the men's prison, the women's prison. I'll have a link for the GoFundMe if you guys want to donate and help out, because we have to print books, we have to make videos, all kinds of stuff to pretty much help these men and women and children surpass these mistakes and just get better. Unfortunately, some are never coming home, and just because they're coming home doesn't mean that they don't need help, they don't need healing, they don't need to get better. There's actually, a way to be able to do prison time in a good way, as good as it can get. And it takes skills and learning curves. So like it's needed in there. Back in the day, they thought that if you had a life sentence, you didn't need to take a GED, you didn't need to take classes. No, they need it the most. They need it the most. This is why some of the most dangerous yards are the max yards, because people are frustrated, people are in a bad mood, people have lost hope, have lost the meaning of life, and that's why life is so cheap in these places. So no, they need it the most. So if you guys want to help out, please donate. Please, we're in the process of getting all the paperwork done for the nonprofit part of Wrong to Strong Ministries, and just getting everything done the right way to be able to. I don't know about most of y'all, but I pray a lot. I pray a lot now. I pray a lot, and I have a lot of conversations with God, and I know He's building something so big that I can't understand it right now. And all He's asking me right now is to get organized, to get aligned, clean up paperwork, and just get ready. I'm also gonna be signing up for some classes at GCU, on ministry and just knowledge that I think I need to know right now. Shout outs to Tim. He's been, man, he's been the friend that I need right now. He's lit some fire in me just because I have to take a breath to say this because it makes me emotional. I always wanted to be educated my whole life. I just couldn't understand why I couldn't learn. So today, sitting down with gentlemen that are, college people, educated people, I call them, I know that other people be like, oh, don't see it like that. But no, I see it like that because I never got to learn. Makes me feel special when I sit with these people. So it does something to me. And it's been building a fire in my heart. And it's time to get to work again. It's time to put my head down again and get to work. And yeah. But I'm gonna be talking about just different topic, guys. Just different stuff. From gangs to my traumas to what I'm doing now with the studio. I'm even thinking about starting a channel for the studio itself, Biltmore Soundscape Studio, like YouTube channels that have behind the scenes of everything that's going on, everything that's happening, how we're growing, how we're building new studios. Believe it or not, once all this takes off on these studios up here, we're gonna have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So we'll have 7 studio rooms up here, and once we clear out downstairs, I'm gonna build a garage door so we could bring cars in, exotic cars. So then we could provide like that whole like to shoot videos where we could have the smoke and the camera shooting on an angle down, all that stuff, and that's all been stuff that my whole life I never thought I was gonna be in this kind of world, and now I absolutely love video. I love telling stories, podcasting. I would like to shoot a movie one day. And I'm writing a script right now. I'm working on books too. There's a lot of stuff that's in the working that yeah, it's coming to fruits this year and next year. So be on the lookout, guys. Like I said, I'll leave the links on the bottom. Get ready for all this content, for all this information, the USP program, the Wonder Woman program. There's a correctional officer program. There's a lot of stuff that's coming to the surface. My name's JC. I am Wrong Strong. Hey, you know what time it is. Súbanse la Suburban, because we're about to take a ride. Let's go, guys.